Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm sharing another mushroom soup recipe with you. I already have a mushroom soup recipe on my channel and it's my favorite family's recipe. I will link it down below in the description box, so check it out. But this soup is quite unique. The richness of this soup comes from combination of two broths. One is a dried mushroom broth and one is a homemade vegetable broth. The use of wild rice adds a nutty flavor to the soup, and the splash of port wine makes the taste of this soup unforgettable. Let's start on our vegetable broth. The secret in making very good vegetable broth is to use aromatic vegetables, and the ratio is 1:1. So 1 part of vegetables, 1 part of water. In my broth, I'm going to be using carrots. I'm also going to be using parsnip and leeks. You're free to add or subtract vegetables to your taste. And also, I'm going to be using some celery. I'm going to be using onion. There is no need to peel any of the vegetables. You just need to wash them very well. And leave the skins on, but just trim the dirt, and as far as the leeks, you need to open them up and wash them very well. You're also gonna need some salt and pepper and some dry spices like bay leaves, a combination of peppercorns, and I have my spice box here. You can make it a little bit spicier by adding chili pepper, but I've chosen to add just a little bit of coriander seeds. I have 8.5 quarts of stock pot here, which we're gonna stuff with vegetables to the rim, and it's gonna make us about 18 cups, 4.5 quarts of pure vegetable stock. We're not gonna use it all in the soup. I just like to make my vegetable stock in advance and keep it in the freezer. I'm gonna put it in the 1 quart size Ziploc bags and freeze it and use it as I need it. You can use your vegetable stock for making vegetarian dishes like making risottos or boiling quinoa, or for making soups. As you can see, we're leaving all the vegetables unpeeled, and as far as the fresh herbs, I'm going to use parsley and thyme, but you guys can use whatever you like. We're going to add our salt and pepper, dry herbs, and we're going to add 4.5 quarts of water to this pot and put it on the stove for simmer. It's going to simmer for about an hour and a half. To make your dried mushroom broth, you need 2 cups of dried mushrooms mix, and here I have some portobellos, porcini, oyster mushrooms, and black trumpet, whatever that is. We're gonna put our dried mushroom mix in a container, preferably with the lid. Pour about 4 cups of boiling water into it. Close the lid and let it soak for an hour. We're also gonna need 1/2 cup of wild rice, and we're gonna parboil our wild rice. Parboiling means partially boiling the rice, and this method is used in recipes where the rice gets steamed after, or if the rice takes so much time to cook. Like in our case, wild rice takes a long time to cook, so it's better if you parboil it in the water, in the salty water, for about 10 minutes until it's partially cooked. Then drain it, rinse it with cold water to stop the cooking process, and set aside. And for the soup, we're gonna need 1 cup of chopped shallots, 1 cup of julienned carrots, 1 cup of chopped celery, and 1/2 cup of chopped parsley. We also gonna need 1 pound of fresh mushrooms, and I'm using baby bella mushrooms, but you can use white mushrooms, also known as common mushrooms. We're just gonna slice them like that because the soup mainly contains the broth, and so we want our mushrooms to look a little bit more visible. We also gonna need some port wine. Port is a fortified wine, which essentially means that it's carefully blend of wine and spirit. In this case is brandy. We need 1/2 cup of port, and it's gonna add amazing flavor to our soup. Let's check on our vegetable broth. As you can see, it's slightly darker because of the skins on the onion, and it's been simmering for an hour. And we're gonna let it simmer a little bit more until we finish our prep work. Our dry mushrooms are well hydrated. We just need to transfer them on a paper towel so we can dry them and finally chop them so we could use them in our soup. So just dry your mushrooms, transfer them on the cutting board, and then we're gonna use a very unique knife to chop them. This knife is called mezzaluna, which translates to half moon, and this knife is actually very useful when you need to do a very fine chop. Our vegetable broth is ready. I'm just gonna strain it into 4 quarts measuring cup. I'm gonna deal with the rest later, but that's all we need for our soup. And here we go, our prep station, because making soup is easy as long as you have all your prep work is done. So you have all your stocks, you have all your veggies, you have all your condiments here. We also have some cooking oil so we can saute the vegetables. We need about 3 tablespoons of avocado oil or any type of cooking oil. Let's start making our soup. I have 6.5 quarts stock pot on the heat, a medium heat. We're gonna add 3 tablespoons of cooking oil, and we're gonna add our onions. We're gonna add the onions first. We're just gonna let them sweat, and after that we're gonna add the rest of the vegetables, which are our celery. We're gonna saute it quickly together with the onions until the onions get just a little bit of color, but not much. And then we're gonna add our chopped hydrated mushrooms. We're also gonna saute those together. Then the carrots go in. Saute the carrots with the rest of the veggies. And we're gonna add our fresh mushrooms. And it looks like it's a lot of mushrooms, but you know the deal with mushrooms, they go in like a bunch and then they come down to pretty much nothing. To help them sweat out, close the lid and let them steam a little bit, and after that, here you go. We're gonna add our port. We're just gonna raise the heat a little bit so all alcohol evaporates from our soup, and after that we're gonna add all our stocks. So add 1 quart of dried mushroom stock and 4 quarts of vegetable stock. And so that's gonna make us 5 quarts of soup. Then we're gonna put our steam escaper. You guys know I have a collection of these guys. And we're gonna close the lid and let the soup to boil. As soon as it starts boiling, we're gonna add our parboiled rice. We're gonna taste the soup, make sure it has enough salt and pepper. If it needs more salt, add more salt. You can add freshly ground black pepper to it. Then we're gonna close the lid one more time and we're gonna let this soup simmer for about 30 minutes. After the soup is done, we're just gonna add our fresh parsley, mix it, close the lid, and our soup is done. Bread toast is done, and it's time for us to taste the soup. Here we have beautiful mushroom soup with a hearty broth and a chewiness of wild rice. It is absolutely delicious, and I'm gonna play a chef here and wipe the plate, make sure the presentation is absolutely perfect. And just look at this soup. It proves to you that if you make a little bit more effort by making your own broth, your soup can be a true masterpiece. I hope you like this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.